begin now with our top story out of Texas. More than a week later, the body of the last missing Camp Mystic counselor has been found. The young woman you're seeing right there on your screen is Catherine Ferruzzo, who recently graduated high school. The search and recovery efforts continue, however, for the more than 160 people still missing. Officials have confirmed the devastating floods have taken the lives of at least 130 people. The community there has been coming together to help sort through the mountains of debris and rubble in excruciating heat. This as more severe weather is expected to impact the state.
We saw a lot of devastation. We saw a lot of people. We saw kids floating. There was kids in RVs floating, you know, and power's still on because it was pulled loose from the power cord, but it was still powered by the batteries. So the lights were on as they were floating away, and you could see kids in them. And then whether they come from here or where they come from, I don't know. Maybe they come from that RV park because they lost a lot of people next door to us. So, you know, just having to witness all that and hear those screams of those babies. Like I was telling you, Katie, I mean, I don't care about all the possessions and stuff. It's closure for these families and the grieving. There's the ones that are really hurting and grieving when they lost their babies.
NewsNation's Jorge Ventura live on the ground in Kerrville with the volunteer fire department. Jorge, what can you tell us about Catherine and what's the latest you're seeing right there on the ground?
Hey there, Alex. Well, today is officially now day 9 of those search operations from local, state, and federal officials, but as well as the thousands of volunteers that are walking along the banks of the Guadalupe River, combing through piles and piles and mounds of debris very tediously. They say that is still the #1 mission throughout the day. You still hear the helicopter patrols from U.S. Coast Guard down to Texas National Guard on the ground. We did also see U.S. Border Patrol and the Horse Patrol going in those areas where humans cannot with the terrain. Is still very rough. And earlier today, Alex, I did get a statement from the Ferruzzo family on an update on their daughter, Catherine. I want to read part of that statement now. Quote, on Friday, July 11th, 2025, Catherine Ferruzzo remains were found. We are incredibly grateful to all the search and rescue professionals and volunteers who remain steadfast in their efforts to locate the victims of this tragedy. We would especially like to thank Texas Rangers. Catherine, a recent graduate of Memorial High School, had been accepted to the University of Texas at Austin this fall and planned to become a special education teacher. The Catherine Ferruzzo Legacy Foundation is being established to honor Catherine and her compassion for those with special needs and learning differences. We will share a link with donation details in the coming days. And right now, Alex, just right behind me is a visual just honoring the memory of the victims that lost their lives on July 4th. There are so many photos of children, and that's what's really heartbreaking when you see their smiles. We continue to see really people from all over the community here, but across Texas and the country coming and paying their respects, sending prayers, leaving flowers. We do see a lot of children's toys being left behind. A lot of the signs that we're seeing is Hill Country Strong, River of Angels, and I continue to meet people traveling from all parts of the country who have no direct ties to Kerrville, but the stories of the children and the victims that lost their life has really touched them and impacted them. Many have come in to pay their respects, but there are thousands that have come to volunteer and join those search teams and combing through the rough terrain. This past week, we've had some very brutal heat that was impacting first responders. I met an Army veteran traveling all the way from Florida, having no ties to the community, and saying that he wants to be here and will not stop until they find every single missing person. Take a listen.
And I saw all the videos and the stories and the articles about the kids, especially there in Mystic Camp. I'm a Christian. I just felt it in my heart. You know, God was calling, came here. And you know what? Coming here, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that came from different parts of the nation just to find people, you know, so the families can have closures.
And today we did go embedded with the Center Point Volunteer Fire Department as they were combing through that debris. And they say that the #1 mission is to bring comfort to those families, and they just want to help out in any way they can. So here on the ground, Alex, there's still that urgent search that we continue to see. Every hour is so important here on the ground. And every volunteer that I speak to says, this is not about me. We don't want to thank you. We don't want any praise. We just want to bring comfort to the victims and the families impacted on July 4th, Alex.
Yeah, and that massive memorial behind you really tells a story right there. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Jorge Ventura, thank you very much for your time there on the ground.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.